Hi everyone, good evening. Welcome to the BISP Solutions. So let's continue with the financial planning module. Basically, we were discussing, we have completed the configuration part. We have loaded the metadata, then data load, or everything is done. We have set the preferences like the user variables and the user preferences. So everything is already done. Now let's quickly move towards the application. So today we see how we can do the driver based planning, train based planning in the application. Simultaneously, I'll show you how you can add the member formula. So let's click on financials, then click on the revenue. So because I have already loaded data here, so you can see these figures are now coming under the calculated one. Let me show you the month-wise figures. So this you can also do with the help of Smart View. Alright. So basically, let's talk about this number of units. Now this number of units is one of the driver. We are basically using this driver for the sake of calculating revenue from other products. So revenue from other products drivers are number of units multiplied by rate per unit. So I'll getting the total revenue from other products. Similarly, if I need to calculate the revenue from training, so my trainings drivers are number of training session multiplied by cost per session. So I have used the Smart View for the sake of data load. Let me show you that. This is what I have used here. You can see clearly in the actual scenario, working version USD currency, then plan type is load. You can select the intersection from here also. So this is the plan element. Then hatchback is one of the product and mechanical repairs is one of the services. So we are loading data for financial year 24. So I'm loading data from January to November, so that we will be doing planning from December onwards. Okay, so number of units are 200 and it is same for all the months. Similarly, my rate per unit is 4000. So again, it is similar for all the months. I can change it also. The number of training sessions are 5 I have taken here, and the cost per session are 15,000. Now let's see the application. My intersection is absolutely correct. So because I have loaded the data in the actual scenario, now I'm doing the planning on the basis of driver based and trend based. So that is why the reason I have selected here the plan scenario, working version, USD currency. Rest the years, product, service, everything is same. Okay. Now you can see the number of units are 200 and it is throughout the year. Like if I see in the quarter 4, so it has completed all months. Then let's calculate the revenue from other products. So 200 multiplied by 400. Let me open the calculator here, so it will be easy to understand, or we can calculate here also in the Smart View. So I am calculating here separately. 200 multiplied by 4000. So I'm getting 8 lakh. Okay, why I'm getting this figure for the product revenue? Because I have applied a member formula that I'll show you. Then after that I need to calculate the total training cost. That will be calculated on the basis of number of training session multiplied by cost per session. So my per session cost is 15,000, so it will be calculated accordingly. It should come 75,000. It is absolutely correct. Okay. So let me show you how I have applied the member formula. Go to the dimensions under the create and manage option. Here I'll select my cube, that is OEPFS, and then click on the member where you want to apply your formula. So it is under my OFS revenue planning, predefined accounts. Okay, I have just created the member for the sake of calculating the revenue from other products, and that is under the gross profit. So here you can see the member. Let me show you how you can apply the formula. From here you need to make the data storage property as dynamic calc, and under the member formula just click on the cube. Cube is OEP-FS, OEP underscore FS, and my data storage property is dynamic calc. Simple formula I have used here just to make sure that you guys cannot confuse. Otherwise later on I'll show you if you want to make a complicated one, then how you can use that. So just need to use the correct indentation, like number of units should be under the inverted commas, multiplied by rate per unit is also the driver, so that is also under the inverted commas. So in this way I have calculated this other revenue from other products. Simple formula is this. Just close it with a semicolon. When I click on validate, so the member formula is valid, then click on save. So I get the revenue from other products. In the same fashion, if I need to calculate the revenue from trainings, again click on the editor. See, the data storage property is dynamic calc. OEP-FS is my cube. And here number of training per session is my driver, multiplied by cost per session. So number of training session multiplied by cost per session will be calculating the revenue from trainings. Again, after writing the formula, always make sure that you have validated the formula. So the member formula is valid, then click on save. So like I have used this member formula for revenue calculation, similarly you can use the same for expense calculation also. So let me show you how you can use this for the expense calculation also. Okay, suppose you want to apply under the labor expense or under the okay, I think I have already added the drivers under the gross profit. Let me check it once. Revenue drivers, predefined drivers under the not product driver. Yes, cost of sales. Let me just search it where my driver is saved. And in this same fashion I have applied the KPIs also, revenue KPIs I am going to calculate in this way. All the KPIs I have already added from the configuration window. Okay, let me search it separately. So suppose I need to calculate the traveling expense, and the drivers I am using here are traveling expense cost per month multiplied by number of kilometer travel in a month. So on the basis of on the basis of these drivers, I can calculate the traveling cost per month, right? So let's suppose I need to copy the same and I need to use this under the application. First I'll search if this is already exists. See, this is already there because I have already added this when at the time of configuration. So under the total under the total cost of sale it is there. If you want to re-add this, then you just need to select the member where you want to add, then just click add a child. So you'll be getting that option to add this. Also I'll recommend that do not directly add the child from here or the sibling from here, because they have already provided one section for adding any members from configuration, so that you cannot tamper the application. So this is already there, and this is for the sake of calculation of next cost of sales, that is electricity cost per unit. So this is again electricity expenses. This is again calculated on the basis of number of units consumed per month multiplied by electricity cost per unit. So the driver is already added. Now let me check that where I have added the member. traveling expense. Okay, this is not there. I need to add one. So where I need to add this? Under the total cost of sales, or I can add here also. OFS cost of sales. There is no because this is a predefined members application is pre-built, so that is the reason we cannot add it separately. But okay, go back to the configuration from where you want to add the members. Right now we have seen how you can use the member formula in the revenue. Now we are doing it for the expenses, and then I'll show you the driver based and trend based planning. Okay, so it should be under the expense account, right? Travel and entertainment is there. Total other expenses. So these are my drivers. I need to add this under the expense. Let's click on the add button. I am adding this under total travel and entertainment expense, and the member is traveling expense. Similarly, I write it under the alias also, and here the data storage property is store only. Then click on save. Similarly, I have added one more member, not traveling. Let's this time add the this electricity expenses, because we want to check 2-3 expense together. So now click on save. So one more thing, if you want to apply some more drivers, you can add it in this way. So I guess rather than adding there, I can use these drivers here separately. Let's try to add. And I'm changing the member name, that is traveling cost per month. It should be, no? Traveling cost per month. Okay, if it is percentage, then you can change it. Currency, then you can definitely change it. Let's make it non-currency only. Save it. Let's add one more driver. The next driver is number of kilometer travel in a month. Click on save. Then again add, because only 2-3 drivers I need to add, that is why I'm not using any metadata file. But if I need to add multiple members together, then definitely I'll be using one metadata file over here. So this is the option. Okay, this is already there, so I need to change the spelling. Okay, one more thing, if you want to use the batch file, so you can use the import export option from here. Let me change the name. Number of unit consumed per month. Okay, now it is saved. One more category, that is electricity cost per unit. Okay, I think this is already there now, so I can change the spelling. Electricity cost. I'm just changing the spelling only. Just adding one more number so that it will be changed. Save. So if everything is done, close this. Okay, one thing I think we have mistakenly added that also under the traveling one. Travel and entertainment. I think this should be added somewhere else. Sorry. So I can delete it from here. So only the traveling expenses, traveling drivers I'm adding here. Click on save. Then just search it where you can adjust out those electricity expenses. Can I use it under the facilities one? Or I can use the other expenses also. Okay, under the total expenses. Okay, for now let's using in the same member so that we cannot change it again and again. Under total other expenses, office expense, yes. So under the total office expense we can add. Now I'm going to refresh the database. If everything is successfully added here, then just refresh it once so that you can see the members there. Okay, now from here, because we have already seen the revenue drivers, now let's change it from the variables. I mean the user preferences. We will change to expenses. All the level 0 descendants are already selected here. So right now there are some revenue from trainings have been selected. Now I'm just changing to expense planning. Okay, this is a driver. This is expense, I guess. Yes, this is only account. So I am selecting here the account. So I'm looking for those expense drivers which we have just added. Let me recheck that. From dimensions you can always check it. Okay, so under the total expenses, I have added these traveling and electricity expense. It should be under the predefined expense account, then total expenses and operating expenses. And the drivers, should be here only. These are the compensation drivers. Yes, here it is. Okay, let's check it for 1 or 2 members only. Actually, I'm looking for those drivers which we have just added. Okay, let's search it from there, from the user variables only. Traveling expense, click on OK, and now the drivers are these are the predefined drivers, but we have added somewhere else, I remember. Expense under the expense drivers, traveling and entertainment. Okay, this is not there. Okay, let me recheck it from the configuration. So under the expense accounts, this is the compensation, total salary, travel and expense. Yes, I have added here. Okay, this should be visible, like the traveling cost per month under the traveling and entertainment expense driver. It should be there. Okay, this is flow. I think I need to make it average, then I can see it. Traveling cost per month. Let me copy this also. This is under the category of expense account, travel and entertainment expense, then travel and entertainment expense drivers. Refresh the database once again. Again, go back to the tools and in the user preferences, expense planning, total expenses, operating expense, total travel and entertainment. Okay, sorry, these are the expense. We need to look for the drivers only. It is not in the category of predefined expense drivers. Okay, let me paste the name directly and click on save. Traveling cost per month. If the name spelling is correct, then there is no need to search it from selector. You can search it separately also. Now click on expense. Only one driver is available here. Okay, let's look for one driver only at a time. So from here I'll be adding that particular member which we want to see to load the figures. Basically we'll be loading this in the actuals, okay, for the planning. Traveling cost per month, finance US should be there, then refresh. Rest I'm deleting from here. Okay, so from here I'll be adding some numbers. Okay, if you want to change it, you can just click here and click on the editor. So from here you can take all the drivers at one place. Right now only the expense driver has been selected. Let's add one more row. Here I'll be adding some more members separately, which basically I want to see there under the expense planning. Okay, so one is traveling expense, second one is electricity expense. Before this I want to add one more row for the, actually I want to use two drivers here. One is the traveling cost per month, second one is number of kilometers travel in a month, that I'm looking for. And in another row I'll be looking for this traveling expense. Save as. Only click on save only. Then again go back to the driver based expense planning form. Let's wait for a few seconds so that it will be visible. I think somebody has removed the application. Okay, this is already there. Till then we can load the data from here. Traveling cost and one or two more rows I want here, because not only traveling cost per month, we want to take two more members. Number of kilometer travel in a month. Okay, from here I'll be selecting every member. This is under the, okay, this is under the gross profit basically. We can directly search there also. Okay, and when I load data from here, so in the application also I'm going to change under the tools, user preferences. Okay, what I need to do here, just select it from the gross profit directly. So these are the drivers, but we need to select here the cost as well. Total expenses. Here we will see the figures. Okay, basically previously we was working for revenue planning, therefore I have added these members under the gross profit, and under the gross profit I have added this in the total cost of sales. But because right now we are working for the expense planning, so all the members should be here only. So let's now search these members here. It is not working. We can type the member name here also. Travel expense cost per month. So this should be selected here in the drivers only. And here under the expense planning, total expenses and operating expenses, then under the travel expenses we are finding this traveling expense. Now let's try to input some numbers. Okay, so from here I'll try to input numbers. Members should always be correct, otherwise we can input the number somewhere else and there we cannot find it. Okay, so our traveling and electricity expenses are already selected. So these are the total expenses, and if I want to look for drivers only, so those drivers might be here under the facilities. Okay, let's try to load numbers directly from here. Traveling expense cost per month. So suppose this is 50 and number of kilometer travel in a month will be 25. 50 and 25. So I'll for the sake of testing I'll be pasting same numbers throughout. Submit data. So now on the basis of these members, this should be calculated automatically, right? So now I'll be writing the member formula. Let me refresh it. I think there is some confusions in the member because 2 or thrice the same members have been selected. This is the reason we are not getting the numbers here. Okay, let me show you the same for the revenue only. Rather than this, I'll be showing you the revenue. In the same way you can do it for expense. There is something wrong with the expenses right now. Maybe this is tampered. The same members has been created multiple times. So let's do it for the revenue only. So previously I have added the members under the gross profit. Let's look at for the revenue from trainings. This should be the accounts revenue from trainings. I'll be selecting here only. Under the gross profit, total revenue, revenue from trainings, and here I'll be selecting one driver. That may be under the predefined drivers. Number of training sessions should be there. not in cost of sale, sorry. It should be here only. Number of units and rate per unit. Okay, this is under the services. Okay, so now we have selected one expense account, that is revenue from trainings, and it will be calculated on the basis of drivers, that is number of training per session. Now click on save, and from here I'll just change few numbers. Let's make it 10, and the cost I'll be changing from 15 to 12,000. So 10 sessions are there, and we can use different numbers also. Like here I can change the number of training sessions from 10 to 12, and the cost is 15,500. So till May it is same, and from June itself it is changed. Submit the data. Now save it, and it is better to quickly refresh the database. Okay, so these are the number of training sessions. Here you need to select the correct product and the correct services, and a scenario is plan, booking versus USD currency, and finance US is the entity. Now let's everything which you have loaded in the actual figure, that will be visible here in the calculated, and then we can make some adjustments also. So when I click on quarter 1, I am just expanding the quarter 1. Need to refresh it. Okay. So this time we have changed the numbers. We need to connect it once again. Refresh it, and there also we will refresh the database. So I have already applied the member formula there in the training cost calculation. So I hope that is again calculated without any errors. So like we have seen this for the different product calculation cost or revenue for other products, similarly we will see it for the training cost as well. And then after that I'll show you the same thing for some more ratios. Here you need to load the actual data in the plan element load only. Okay. Yes. So you can see in the quarter 1 we have 15 training sessions, quarter 2 also 3, 4, 5, sorry 4 quarters we are having the 15 value, and then cost per session is 45,000. If we want to see it more clearly, so let's drag it. Okay, so November, October, November, December, this should be 15,000. Let's check it. So yes. Okay, maybe it is not getting connected, but this should be 15,000. So I'll just showing you directly from here only. Earlier it was 5, and after that it was changed. See, earlier the number of training session was 5 only, and then I have dragged 5 everywhere, so that is why in the quarter figure it is taking 5 multiplied by 3, that is 15. So in total if we see 4 quarters, so 15 multiplied by 4, that should be 60. So it is absolutely correct. Okay, and then From here I can change the trend also. Like suppose right now it is current year actual average. Okay, side by side let me open this application in another difference also, another instance also, because this is not absolutely working here. Or maybe somebody has deleted the application. This is also another reason why we are unable to see the exact figures. So second option is for the driver and trend based planning. Okay, right now it is not selected correctly. Hatchback is the product. Then click on this arrow. So you'll find the numbers here. Okay, the data has not been loaded yet, I guess. Let's resubmit or let's connect it once again. Let me recreate a user. For now I am giving every rights. Something is getting wrong here, I guess. Okay, no issues. Let's try once again. Let me check that the user preferences have been changed or not. Okay, this is not changed. It should be financial year 24, and this is actual correct. Load is also correct. Okay, we are working for revenue. First one is expense account and then drivers. So first is account, we will be selecting from here under the gross profit, total revenue. This is revenue from trainings, and then click on expense drivers. Sorry, gross profit once again. Revenue drivers, total cost of sales. Here we are trying to select the driver. It is number of training session. So again it is bit complicated to search. Basically we forget the member where we have added. Okay, under the total. Okay, this is not expense. We want to search it for revenue only. Predefined revenue drivers. It is not in the predefined category. Let's directly type the name of this member. somebody has been tampered the application, so we are unable to find the number. Okay, now I guess it is correct. Let's see if the data is now visible. Here we need to select the plan scenario because we are planning on the basis of those actual figures. And I think in the user preference as well, this should not be actual, this should be plan. Okay, somebody has been working here and changed the product. This is the reason we are not able to see the product. Oh, sorry, cost. We can only see the figures when the intersection is correct. Let's suppose I'm applying one trend. Let me refresh the database once again. So like in the beginning of the session, I have shown you how you can check everything. In this way, like whenever you'll find the figures here in the calculated column, you can change the trends and then you can see the changes over here. Okay, like suppose here I've added the increment. Normally it was 2400, but I want to adjust it by 100, figure 100 in the year total. So that 100 has been subdivided into per quarter. So 100 by 4, that is 25, and then 25 by 4, that is 8.33. Okay, let me show you 25 by 4. Sorry, 100 by 4, that is 25, then 25 by, it should be divided in individual quarters, individual months. So one quarter is having 3 months, so 8.33 should be divided in every month. So accordingly take adjustment, and then after that when we see in the total, so that 24,000 plus 100 becomes 2500. So in this way you can change the figures every time you want. Because my application has been tampered, so I cannot show you there also, but you just need to select, load the data in the actual, the plan element should be load. When you come back here in the application, then here you need to select the scenario plan. Everything is should be correct, like whether it is product, services, years, or everything, then you can see the numbers there. So I'm just trying it once again, or you can do it by yourself, because we have at least understand the concept. One more thing I want to show you, like if you want to change the member formula, then how you can do that. So from here also you can change the rows and columns if you want. Click on add it. And then click on the number of training session. So likewise these members you can also see this for KPIs also, like revenue per employee, cost to sales, margin, sales growth percentage. Okay. So it has already selected the number of units, the rate per unit. Now you can see this is visible under product revenue drivers, but when we previously looking for this, it was unable to view. So this is the reason, sometimes due to some technical reasons we cannot find the members which we want to see. So it is available here, and it is in the product revenue drivers. And when we click on service revenue drivers, so the number of training sessions, the cost per session is already there. Okay. So it is already selected here, so no need to change it, just click on save. And from the user variable, user preference, we can search it once again. Let's see if it is now visible or not. See, number of units and rate per units are visible now, and the number of training sessions are also visible. Okay, one more mistake. This is the expense account. I need to search these drivers here separately. And in the accounts, I need to click on gross profit, then under the total sales, revenue from trainings are here. Then click on save. And whenever you're trying to load data, just make sure you're loading this in the correct one. How you can connect the sheet, just click on ad hoc analysis, and here you need to search your members. So basically it is actual, then working version. I'm just using the same sheet because the members are same. Financial year 24 period is Jan. Finance US is my entity. Click on member selection, search for the accounts. Right now unable to see, search those members. See, few minutes back we were able to see the newly created members. Yes, this is number of training session and cost per session. And then, okay, let's load here only first. So we have changed the figures and it is absolutely visible here. Now let's see these figures are visible there or not. Here one more member I want, that is my total training cost. That will be available under the total revenue from trainings. So here is the calculation, you can see. Let's do the data validation from here only. 10 multiplied by 12. Then I'll show you the member formula I have applied. Okay, So the from till May it is same, so it is 1,20,000, and after that it is 12 multiplied by 15,500, so it gets 1,86,000. Similarly, if you want to look at for year total, so you can do that also. So the whole year value will be available. Refresh. So in this way you will be getting the whole year value as well. Let's calculate separately. This multiplied by this goes something. Okay, December is missing now, so we are not getting correct result here. This is on the basis of they are taking December as well. So now let's again see this in the application. Let's change the trend, current period actual, and let's see if it is working or not. Click on save. When you click on save, the rule will run behind this. So rule run was successfully. So now what is actually happening here, this is taking current period actual, that is 12 and 15,500 throughout the year. Why it is taking that? Because if we see current period actual, so our current period is November. Okay, so current period is November, so it is 12, and the cost per session, that is 15,500. So it is taking throughout the year is 12 and 15,500. Okay, similarly if you want to see it for quarter 2 or quarter 4, then also you'll find the same figures, and at last in year total it is 186,000. Okay, 144 and 186,000. So now if you want to see this in the plan, click on refresh. Okay, let's not change this, it should be actual here. So in the December also they are taking the same figures because we have applied the trend. Okay, so as per the trend, because we have selected current period actual, that is why it is taking this, and accordingly the calculation took place. Now suppose if you want to make some adjustments here, so right now it is 144. Let's suppose I want to adjust it with 10. Submit data, click on save. So 144 plus 10 it should be. Now let's check it. So it gets 154, and throughout also it has been adjusted with some value, and suppose this 15,500 I want to adjust with 500 figure. So just type and click on save. So data has been saved, rule run successfully, and now the figure has been changed from 186,000 to 186,500. So in this way you can make some adjustment also. So not only one trend is available, you can apply multiple trends. Like suppose you want to change it, and you want to take current year actual average here and here also. Again click on save. In that case it will be taking average. Okay, so this 11.09 may be the average. So let's check it. If I want to look for average, $11. So because of this December month, it is not rounding of the figure, but yes, absolutely correct. 11.09 is correct. One more thing, if I want to take average here also, we are working for current year actual average. If you want to use prior period actual, so that also available. So 13,909 should be the answer, and it is absolutely correct, right? and this point or rounding off is maybe due to this 1 month, but absolutely the figures are correctly calculated. So in this way you can use the driver and trend based planning here. Now let me show you the member formula once again so that we can conclude it. So go to the dimensions, click on that cube where you have applied the formula. Just click on that member editor. It should be dynamic calc. So this is the formula I have applied, very easy formula. And let me show you the sales formula also. I have applied the sales growth percentage formula as well, that I have added here in the revenue KPI under the revenue. So this is the sales growth. Let me show you the formula. So this is the formula. Let me explain this. Sales is the member which I want to calculate, and I am basically calculating the growth. So either I can use the simple formula, that is current year sales minus prior year sales divided by prior year sales into 100. So this is the basic formula. But if I want to use this, so this is also giving me the correct result. Why? Because sales divided by previous year sale, or the at the rate prior is the function which is basically used for the previous year. So sales divided by previous year, and actual data we are using here basically. So scenario is actual, and then indentation used for sales, comma 1 means previous year we are using here. So that is the reason I am taking 1 at the rate lev members. This is again the function, so that all the zero level will be covering here. So year is the dimension, and all the zero level members I want here. That is why I have used here the at the rate lev members. This is the function. Then -1 is again for previous year. Then close it with the semicolon, and then click on validate. So the member formula is valid. Then again click on save. So this will give you the figure. Now let's see directly in the smart view. So here my sheet is already connected. I have applied the figures for the different years. Like in my application, 3 years, 2 is for the actual and 1 for the plan. So you can see I get the result in this way. Previous year sale minus current year sale divided by previous year sale into 100. So it should be 172%. Similarly, if I want to calculate here, or we can apply in this way also, current year sale minus previous year sale divided by previous year sale into 100. So it should be 44.11, 44%. So in this way we can get the results. Also, if you want to apply this for different ratios like earnings before interest, tax and depreciation, EBITDA growth, so that is also correct. This is my gross profit total, and on the basis of this I can calculate the earnings before interest, tax, depreciation and amortization. So let me show you that also. So this is also calculated in the same fashion. Previous year EBITDA, that is 2,50,000 minus current year divided by previous year earnings, multiplied by 100. So it should get 425.2. It is absolutely correct. Similarly, if I need to calculate this, current year minus previous year divided by previous year into 100. So it should come out as 41. So it is also correct. So in this way you can calculate different ratios according to sheet. Like here everything has been calculated. If you want to download it, you can download it for free from the Google. Or one more thing, you can write the formula here first in the Excel sheet, calculate it manually by applying some figures here, and then test it, so it will be better. Okay, so this is whole for the day. I guess it is clear like how you can use the financial planning module for the driver based and the trend based planning. Similarly, if you want to use the third planning, so this is the option for manual input direct entry. So you can directly, if you want to input data from here, you can directly use this also. So everything is completed here in the financial module. We have started the process from configuration, features enabled, then we have loaded metadata, then data, then we have set the user variables and user preferences. Then after that we change the planning forecast preparation, like what will be the current year, what will be the current period, everything. Then after setting everything, we came here in the financials and then we click on the revenue portion. Then here are some predefined forms, that is the driver based and trend based. So we are working directly here. So in this way we have completed it. So I guess it is clear. So let's end this session. Thank you so much. So here I am just ending this session. If you have some more doubts, then you can always ask in the comment section. Thank you.